What's going on, everybody? This is Jabril Salaam.
And Muhammad Hassan.
And you are listening to the Young and Muslim Podcast.
Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Welcome back to the Young and Muslim Podcast Ramadan Series Part 3. In the last episode, Imam Munir Muhammad gives us a breakdown of the first 10 days of Ramadan where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala showers us with His mercy.
Yes. Now, we'll be discussing the significance of the second 10 days, which is all about the forgiveness of Allah. Imam Munir shows us that although Allah is the most forgiving, there's still much to be done on our end to ensure that these 10 days are a true success. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Salaams. So now that we prepare for Ramadan and we in the first 10 days, we're merciful, being kind to everybody around us. Then the second 10 days, we're seeking forgiveness.
Yes.
Okay. What are some ways that we can seek forgiveness? I know prayer is always the best thing. Make dua. But what are some other ways that we can seek forgiveness, whether it's for ourselves, for others?
Well, I guess we keep it simple, right? You ask someone to forgive you. Even I ain't do nothing wrong to nobody. Well, you ain't supposed to have that type of spirit, like.
What you talking about?
What?
Yeah,
I've been good to everybody.
So you can approach someone and you can say, listen, I know our relationship may not have been the best, the past year. Please forgive me for, if you misunderstood something I said.
Beautiful.
Just something simple, because now you are practicing that what you're asking for.
Yeah.
One
of the things we recently were talking about is that we often are talking about how we want Allah to forgive us, so Allah, you're most forgiving, so forgive me. Oh, we must forgive other people, but a lot of times we don't forgive ourselves.
Right.
And during the second 10 days, I always try to think of ways that I have to let myself off the hook, that I am in this growing process, that even though it's just some days you might break your fast by accident. You can't be like, oh man, I drank water by accident, and you just on your case, you gotta be like, it was an accident, mistakes happen.
Right.
Let's keep it going. Right. We have a friend who he's been doing really, really well with his diet. When we first met him, he's like, hey, I'm starting a new diet, I'm trying to achieve X, Y, and Z. And we encourage him, my man, do it, do your thing. But recently he had a situation where he was like, you know what? I want to, enjoy the food that's around me. I'm with good people. I want to enjoy it. And he's like, man, it's so hard on myself. I was like, bro, you're going to make mistakes. You have to forgive yourself, because if you don't, you're just on this,
right.
You're just going to go in a spiral with it. So that second 10 days is important to forgive.
Yes.
In every which direction.
Right. And in these second 10 days, because it, physically, it takes 7 days for your cells to rejuvenate, to renew themselves.
Huh.
And so you're feeling better about yourself. You're feeling better about the idea that, hey, you know what? I haven't said I'm sorry in a long time. Because now that's some of the fringe benefit of the physical fast is now that body is starting to go through a transformation. And it's something you said earlier, Muhammad, that made me think about. Then Ramadan, we go through the door of Ramadan. It's like a caterpillar. It's like what's the one? Yeah, the caterpillar crawls, and then he goes into a metamorphosis.
Yes.
And then comes out like a beautiful butterfly.
It's never the same.
That's Ramadan. That's us. We go through that door. We're walking along life, going through Ramadan, like that caterpillar is using every muscle in his body to get to where it's going. That's what we're doing. And then when we get to the end, it's that metamorphosis. It's like, and it's only took 20 days now.
Yeah.
Because we're like, man, I got the ability to forgive.
Yeah.
SubhanAllah. You had mentioned if the first 10 days were forgiveness, I don't think that was gonna happen. Yeah, like, cause just like energy and that's how you know that this isn't something man-made, because that's not something that can be conceived by a person. Like, okay, first 10 days, second 10 days, third 10 days, because at that point, like you said, you get into Ramadan, you're still trying to get your schedule right and everything. So for you to go out your way and forgive somebody is not less likely to happen. Right. Question: so what if I'm in my second days? I got the energy, but I just cannot find the courage and energy to forgive somebody. Okay. I just can't. What should I do?
Well, that's something that you gotta continue to pray for. You gotta pray to God, and you have to ask God to give you the strength, give you the bigness of heart to embrace that person and forgive that person. Even if you don't want to forgive that person for them, forgive them for God. Whatever it takes, you have to. You know, I shared this with a friend recently. I said, listen, you got to get this anger out of you. And if you don't get this anger out of you, it's going to eat you from the inside out. I said, so how do I get it out? You know, he angry. So how do I get it out? How do I get it out? He's doing all this right now. You know, I'm like, I said, see, he's coming out. Just you talking to me. I said, you have to go hit a bag, go do something, but you got to get it out you. Yeah. And the best way, sometimes, just write it down.
Yeah. Just get off your mind.
Tell the person, whatever. Write a note, write a letter, and then rip it up. You know, whatever it takes. You gonna have to get it out you. Yeah. You know. So forgiving, it starts within. And you have to have the ability to forgive yourself.
You can start with yourself first.
God have mercy. God said he doesn't place a burden on us more than we can bear. So that when we put so much on ourselves and we can't forgive ourselves, how are we expecting God to forgive us if we can't even forgive ourselves? I mean, you're supposed to have the breakfast of a champion. You're athletes. You're supposed to have a breakfast of a champion. The breakfast of a champion is self-evaluation. You see? You know, you got to be tough on yourself. Yeah. Because the world is tough out there. Yeah. But you also have to have that balance where you can forgive yourself and you can have mercy on yourself. You see?
And I didn't think about it that way, because I always hear that phrase, God will never give you a burden that you can handle. And I'm sometimes like, yo, like, I hope that's true, because right now I'm going through some ish right now. I can't get this off. Yeah. But then when we did a self-reflection, and Jabril and I were at this point, we're like, yo, I think I'm just doing too much. And you don't think about it that way. Like, okay, if I got all this going on, God destined me to do this. It's time for me to put this on my shoulder and get it going. But then you start evaluating and start reflecting, like, you know what? Let me take that off the burden. Let me take now I'm feeling better. And I never think about it in that way. It's like if I got a lot going on, that's just where I'm at in my life. You feel me? But that's a great point.
Yeah. My mom made a point to me a while ago. She said, sometimes you gotta take things off so that you can lighten up your own burden, because you're the actual problem to, you know, the issues you're having. You know, you're the burden that's heavier than you can bear.
And that's a mama for you. Mama tell you straight. You know, where I may tell you in code.
Yeah, right. Where I'm like, dang. But and what I've learned from that is it's really about your lifestyle changes. You know, a lot of times I was on Facebook, and I'm noticing everybody's like depression and I'm so depressed, and I was like, man, and it gets to the point where you're like, man, am I depressed? Right? And recently,
or should I be depressed?
Should I be depressed? I think I should be, because everybody else is. It's about the things that you're doing. So for me, like you said, we're athletes. I noticed if I don't play ball once, twice a week, my mood changes. And recently, we've been working so hard and traveling so much. I haven't played ball in months, and everything changed. The weather, you know. So it's really about you having to make those changes in order to make sure that your life is going right and things like that. But what Ramadan has done, you have to make those physical changes. You have to make the mental changes so that you calibrate.
Right. I think the key word you meant there is commitment. Same commitment that you make to do all these things, you have to make that commitment to take care of yourself. That's it.
He might drop on that one. He might drop on that one. So and then that's perfect, because now, you know, we're going to the last 10 days. You know.
Thanks for listening to part 3 of the Young and Muslim Podcast Ramadan Series. Join us in the next episode where we will be discussing the importance of the third 10 days, inshallah.
If you benefit from this episode, be sure to go and like, subscribe, and follow us on all of your favorite social media platforms. You can find us on Instagram and Twitter at Young and Muslim. That's YOUNG, the letter N Muslim, Young and Muslim. And you can see these two faces again if you go and subscribe to us on YouTube by searching the Young and Muslim Podcast. Muhammad, where can they listen to us?
Such a great question.
Oh, yes.
You can listen to us on all of the major listening platforms such as SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Play.
Now, stop playing around and go and listen to the next episode. So with that, I'm Jabal Salaam.
And Muhammad Hassan.
And we leave you with the greens of peace.
Assalamu
alaikum. Peace out.